Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we have another map gamble going, like gamble, you know, the typical way. So we spend money, we do something, and then yeah, we get more money, right? Or we have less money later on, but that's gamble, you know. It's like a 50-50. Either you make profit or you just don't, right? Today I got a secret tip of somebody that told me that I should actually try out some Twisted Distant Memories. If I pronounce the Twisted Distant Memory, there you go. He said these maps are super profitable. They give a lot of experience comparable to a tool run or something like Pure Stones, right? He said this one is better to experience up and you're gonna get a lot of drops, and there is no way I'm not gonna make profit with those. And today we're gonna try to prove him wrong, right? So I bought 60 of those Twisted Distant Memory. These are all park maps. He said this one is the best layout, right? He's pretty much done with the league, so he gave the secret to me to try it out, and if it works, then probably these maps gonna be a lot worth more later on. So for the write-down, we bought like 60 of those with an average cost of like sometimes 50 chaos, sometimes 60. I kind of ruined the market a little bit because they start now at 60 chaos, then 70 chaos. So I kind of ruined the market a little bit here, but for me, for my spendings, it's about 3,300 chaos plus getting all of those 20% quality through the Bountiful Guide Prophecy. So we end up having almost 18 exalts worth of maps here with today's exalt exchange ratio of 1 to 190, and these exalts are getting worth like every day like 5-6 chaos more, because yesterday or 2 days ago they went like 178 or something. Now they're on 190, so we're gonna see where this stops here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run all of these 60 maps, and the first one we're gonna run together to see. I haven't run any of those yet, okay? I have, like, when I run these Twisted Memories or something, it's usually because I get it from Sana, but I didn't really bother with it at all, right? So we're gonna run the first one together, see how the map layout looks like, see how the typical map is, how hard is the boss, and I have absolutely no idea what can drop in there. I just see here map has 4 additional random modifiers, map has 3 additional synthesis global modifiers. This should be sextant modifiers, so these are good modifiers. It cannot be like reflect or something where I kill myself. And in terms of experience, we're also gonna write down, I'm currently we're gonna write this here somewhere. I'm currently level 95 on my Spectral Throw Gladiator here, and I have 37% experience, right? Obviously, I'm gonna write down if I die, because that would kind of fake the experience gain for some reason, you know? But once we've done all of the 60 maps, I want to see if I would run 60 pure, I definitely would hit like level 96 quite sure, I guess. So we're gonna see if we're gonna level up on this character once we run all of these, and I would say we're just gonna pop in the first one here. We cannot really do anything here, so... Oh, wait. There is one thing I still have to fix, and this is later on. Like, I'm gonna cut this video in 2 parts then, right? So we're gonna run one map, loading this up with some fragments, so I still have to buy a bunch of fragments here. I'm just... noticed it, and then we're gonna see after all those maps what is the outcome, you know. So I still have to put in the fragments here, and then we're gonna get the fixed result. So I would say we're just gonna run the first map here. Everything is on, so we're gonna see how this looks like. This is a Spectral Throw Gladiator. Pretty fancy stuff here. And as I said, I have no idea. He just said, the guy that told me about this one, if you get a ring with Arcane Search, for example, it doesn't really even matter what kind of ring it is, because they sell for like 30 exalts plus or something. So if we are happy to find one of those, we should already be in the green side of profit here, right? So we're just gonna spam around here. Pretty fancy build to play. Oh god, I see those comments. Oh no, he's playing Spectral Throw without the banana skin. But I don't know, like with this kind of attack speed, the skites here, or whatever they are called, they're actually pretty cool because they make the whole map like dark or something. So jumping around, park map, pretty good layout to be honest. Just like running around here. I heard there was a drop, but I just don't know where this actually happened. So oh, here it is. Oh well, it's crap. So some more of these here, some more of that. So that's an L. Where's my mouse? Oh, here it is. So this. I should actually try to get some Headhunter buffs for the boss, because I don't even know if the boss is hard or something. So let's kill off these mobs here. Some here, some there. Some strap-on boots. And yeah, this is actually the map, so let's take a look at the boss itself. Therefore, we're gonna get the slow approach in here. Okay, the boss itself not too hard with this one, although I failed my Val Spectre throws. And we got our first synthesis ring. No, wait. Synthesis... Oh, wait, the shield was it, the shield. That's probably garbage. So, as I said, I have no idea. We're just gonna run blindly those maps after I bought the fragments, and then we're gonna see what we else get from this map, if it's going to be profitable or not, if you can actually get all types of this, what are they called, the synthesized rings, you know, with the Herald of Ash buff effect and Herald of Ice and whatnot. We're gonna see in the end if it's profitable or not. Alright, we are done with farming all the 60 distant, twisted, park, distant memory kind of map, you know? And I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't too bad. It was like, I would say an average, like, there were maps where you had to pick up a lot. Some of the maps you didn't have to pick up anything besides the boss drops and stuff like that. I'm gonna say an average, like, 2 minutes per map or so with breaks. It was like, probably like, maybe 2 to 3 hours of farming that. We actually got a level up, so based on that, because I was 95, I haven't died a single time, so still hardcore solo self-found viable build, all ethical items here, right? And yeah, we are back to 25% experience, so we made more than a level, so definitely nice experience here. And yeah, so basically what I've done is I was checking all the items, like all the bubblegum currency. I price checked everything. I checked the maps and so on. So if you take a look, I went from 95 to 96. So basically one full level here, because on 96 you get more experience penalty. So basically you can say in the 60 maps I went from 95 to 96 safely. Then I we had like 74 maps that are usually about tier 14 the majority. I just didn't bother price checking every single map because there were like all kinds of tier 14 maps. But since I'm playing on Awakener 8, all of the maps that drop can be only tier 14 till tier 16, unless you get it from some synthesized chest or something. But in the end, it was about 370 chaos for the maps. Then we had about 74 chaos in fossil, like serrated fossil and stuff like that. Bubblegum currency is basically everything from divines, regrets, Val orbs. We had 420 jewelers. We had 69 fusings for some reason. All of that thing turned out to be almost close to 600 chaos. So I converted all of that. So you see that. Then we had the boss unique drops, which are the weird helmets and the Storm's gift cloths or something. They are like 1 chaos or something. So I just vendored everything and said like, okay, approximately 35 chaos with all of those drops, the shields and so on. A couple diff cards, we had 1 Saint's Treasure. So item drops, we had an Impulsor drop and some other like shaped leather belt and stuff like that. Then Splinters is like all of the Softs and Chaluper Splinters and stuff. And we had one flat X drop in the map as well. So based on that, we would be at a total of about 1,400 chaos just because of that, and we spent 3,660. So, which would be a big loss if there wouldn't be those pretty fancy synthesis rings, and I gotta say, we found a lot of those. Like, we found way more rings than any kind of helmet, so I guess these rings drop, or basically you have to think of, there is 5 different ones, right? You have the Herald of Ice, Thunder, Ash, Purity, and Agony, right? So if every single item is weighted the same, you have 5 times higher chance to get a ring rather than the helmet or the shield, for example, right? That's why we got so many rings. And this is where the big currency comes from. And there are rings that I didn't really bother with it, right? So if we take a look at all of these rings here, I turned them into bad and good. A bad ring is, in my opinion, all of the rings that are having lightning resistance, maximum lightning resistance, because you want to have those that are having, for example, buff effect, lightning damage, mana reservation, all of that kind of stuff. So all the top side rings here are the winners, and all the bottom side rings here are actually those that are having resistance. So I just didn't bother price checking them. I know that some of those go flat 10 chaos or something, so that's just a minor little part here. So I priced all of them 5 chaos with the amount of resistance rings we're having. And here, for example, the Herald of Thunder ring, there was one good one that was about 50 chaos with buff effect and lightning damage. Then in terms of the Herald of Ice ring, where we had some big winners here. So basically, those are the bad ones, right? The top side rings are the mediocre ones that are like reduced mana reservation, cold damage. But here we have 2 rings with both cold damage and buff effect. And here cold damage, buff effect as well. And they are usually going for about roughly 8 to 10 exalts. I think I like this one was a little bit more expensive because it has increased damage on implicit as well. So I summed up those 2 rings are like 10x each, basically, so 20 exalts on those 2. Then we go next to the Herald of Ash rings. We had 4 good ones, which are basically here the same. Mana reservation and fire damage, and also as the implicit critical strike chance and Fizz as extra fire. Super nice to have, especially on Herald of Ice, any Blade Vortex build or something like that. There was one winner here as well, which was the fire damage and buff effect. So this one, I think, goes for like 5 exalts on this part. Then for the Purity rings, we had 2 bad ones and 8 good ones, which is kind of weird because there are not as many Purity things. Like on the Herald of Thunder and Ash, and you can get like max lightning resistance, and on the Herald of Purity here, there is only the physical damage reduction, which is a bad stat on these ones, right? That's why we had so many good ones, but there were only 2 that are actually worth a lot here, and I think it was the Purity increased damage and physical damage, like double damage on both of those. So they were like, I think like based on that one, like 7 exalts or so. I think 7.5 exalts per one of these rings here. And then in the end, we had the Herald of Agony rings. That turned out to be actually super bad, to be honest. I expected more. I thought that we're gonna get the Herald of Agony, the big winner. But there is so many with chaos resistance, and they are worth like 10 or 15 chaos, so it's not really a lot. So only 2 of those with the chaos damage and buff effect twice, I think. Damage and mana reservation on top of that. But I think the big winner here is the mana reservation plus the buff effect, because these the buff effect deals more damage than the increased damage, something like that. One weird ring here, we had one with Curse Ally Weakness on hit, which is quite nice. The chat told me as well that they are sometimes using that with Hatred because the Fizz is extra and blah blah blah. Still, there is 1 cold resistance, so I value this one as maybe 1 exalt. And in the end, if we count on all those rings, we have a total amount of 10,300 chaos made. So that's basically this minus this. We made about 6,700 chaos profit in about roughly 2 hours of farming and even getting a level. So based on that, if we do that one divided by 190, which is today's Exalt exchange ratio, we made about 35 Exalts pure profit here. With running those, and yeah, if we are even lucky with 1 more of those, like imagine you getting the Ally Weakness on hit on a Circle of Fear, these rings would probably go for like 50 to 100 exalts sometimes, so it can get really crazy, and I gotta say 35 exalts in like 2 hours or maybe 3 hours of farming plus 2 hours of price checking, but that's another part, right? It's just definitely worth, because we have so much playground in the 35 exalts, so even if we're getting 1 or 2 less of those rings, we're still gonna make a lot of profit. So I would definitely say very profitable of running the Twisted Distant Memory Park map. This thing, right? Boss is not really hard, and as you see, you can get a shitload of currency out of that, and yeah, definitely profitable, definitely a nice way to level your character. If you're saying like, I want to get to level 100, this is a good way to do so. As you see, the experience gain was quite nice as well. Super easy maps, haven't even died once, and we got a lot of profit out of that as well. So guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and keep that trick or that map in mind. Once 3.10 hits and you're grinding or don't know what to grind, this is a good way to do so. Alright guys, see ya on the next video.